I don't try to be the best in my niche. I try to be the only one. Nailing ads, any industry is fucking hard. Anybody who ever starts something and they don't have like daddy money, they need to go through the grind phase of a few years.
Influencers are influencers for a reason.
Exactly.
Because they're not necessarily business-minded or can communicate well. So it's a little bit like you're handling a bunch of divas.
I enjoyed the nightlife a lot, like talking to women, cameras, lights. I was like, this is a movie.
Boštjan, my man, it's cool to have you officially on a podcast.
What's up, dude? It's been a while.
We've traveled the world together. We've seen a lot. We've been on a world tour over 2 or 3 different continents. I don't know how many countries, how many cities. And it's been a very, very long friendship ever since then. When did you stop traveling with us, and what did you do after that? Because you've done quite a lot of stuff, man.
Dude, we go back, man. That was what, 2015?
2015, yeah. That's right. We've just seen the new Star Wars back then. The first episode 7. I remember that in Gothenburg, Sweden. And I think after that, you stopped.
And you bought Vinny that epic toy for birthday. What was it? Like the Death Star Destroyer or something?
Wait, what?
Yeah. I don't had birthday, and you bought him this like cool toy. What's that thing that destroys the massive ships in the space?
Yeah, the Death Star or the Death Planet thing.
I think the
Star Killer Base. I can't remember that.
Really, yeah, you were kind of that back then, man. It was dark. Man, it's been... I don't know, it's been a journey, I guess, but for a while after you... Wait, I actually worked with Mario Tomic for a while as well. I don't know if that was immediately after.
I didn't know.
You introduced me, dude.
I introduced you to Mario?
You fucking introduced me.
No way. Yeah. I thought you knew him before.
I don't know if I do. I mean, he's, Croatian, so... But no, I don't think so.
What did you do with him? I had no idea.
Videography.
No shit.
Yeah. You literally introduced me.
That's right. You did do some video work after. Yeah.
No, first I thought I'm gonna do my own video gig. Just put it here. It's okay. First I thought I'm gonna do my own video gig. I closed some projects for like 1-2K, some trailers or whatever.
I remember that.
Yeah. It was pretty fun, but it's hard work, man. Video editing and doing that. It's really hard work. And then, I started to do the whole marketing thing, right? I met Fritz, Fritz, right?
Yep.
Your marketer.
So Fritz he was the guy who helped me. He did the marketing for my first video product, The Natural.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. And then we worked together again.
Yeah.
For The Natural.
Exactly.
Where we basically locked ourselves in the Austrian Alps in this place for like 6 months or 4 or 5 months. Non-stop shooting.
It was a good time too, man.
It was very good.
Gym work,
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Hit the gym, shoot all day, and then it was always like, oh, once we're done shooting, it will be super nice. And then like, oh, now we got to edit. Once we're done editing, it will be super nice.
Dude, and I'm still so sad that we lost that footage with the thunder.
With the thunderstorm in the background, man. That was one of the few major fuck ups we've had. One of the very, very few.
Really fun. That one pizzeria in that town, man.
Yeah, the pizzeria. Always got pizza. Yeah.
No, it was fun, man. Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely way more tolerable than the traveling. And I just did 6 months with you. You did, I don't know, 2 years of that.
Yeah, and then 2 more years after.
Yeah, dude, like that's just brutal.
What cities we went to? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, many. We've done a bunch of Europe. I think we started Vienna, London, Sofia, Bucharest, maybe.
That was the first.
Copenhagen. There were many. And then US was New York, Austin, Miami, and Boston.
Boston, man. Wow. I remember Boston. I stayed at this cook's place.
I don't remember Boston at all.
It was so cool. I remember Boston. I stayed at a volunteer at this cook. I think his name was
like a chef.
Yeah. Some Italian name, and he cooked for me every day. He woke up, he cooked, then he left all the food in Tupperware, and then he went to work because my sleep schedule was like go to bed at 6 a.m. in the morning, And I had like the best food every day, and I didn't leave the house because I was writing the natural product, which we then would shoot. And then I only left it for free to a hot seat boot camp.
Nice, man. Dude, chef is such a good profession. I think one of my flatmates in Barcelona later.
Make sure you talk into the mic.
Yes, yeah. By the way, PC, no PC?
Yeah, you can say anything. I mean, you can say anything. I'm not gonna say everything.
All good, all good. So yeah, no, I know that one of my flatmates who's a chef actually became a client of yours, and I think he was super happy.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so anyway, man, after the whole traveling stuff, basically marketing, right? So Fritz inspired me to start with copywriting. We worked on one or two projects together, and then I kind of branched off on my own and found this like email marketing thing. That was, I think, 2017. Do you know about the Hustle House?
Yeah, I've seen it on Instagram.
Yeah, that was cool, dude. That
So
was,
you moved together with a couple other entrepreneurs?
yeah, but basically I kind of like interviewed people, and I did this like almost like job posts all over these Facebook groups that we had. You were a part of some of them too. And then some really cool guys got together, and then dude, it was just like fucking work, go to the gym, go out, like
Sick.
for 2 years in a row. And I think that really excelled all of our businesses. When I moved there, I had, I think, 6K on my bank account just, for like the rent. And there was no plan B, basically. So I had 3 months. And it kind of worked out, right? So, yeah.
What city was that in?
Barcelona.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
We rented a sick place, like the 200 square meter in the center of Barcelona, Plaza Catalunya. And yeah, man, it was awesome. And we're still friends with some of those guys to this day. So that's one thing that I would highly recommend people that are ambitious, that want to get shit done, is like surround yourself with the like-minded, right? Maybe even rent a flat together. It's pretty good.
I remember Barcelona because I did visit you with my girlfriend.
I remember.
And we went to Sagrada Familia. And that's all I remember. That Sagrada Familia.
I mean, but that's enough. What a beautiful church, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing, dude.
It's not finished yet or something.
Oh, now they're getting close. They really stepped up.
Yeah, better. After 100 years.
Did we go to the park too, by the way? Do you remember?
Which park?
Gaudi. The like cool like green stuff, sculptures and stuff.
I don't think so. We went to Fuerteventura, or what is it called?
Oh, we went to the amusement park?
Yeah. With the Ferrari ride and shit. Yeah, that was sick. I can't remember if we went together or if I went with my girlfriend.
Maybe we didn't go together.
It could be, but that was sick. That was really. I know you're in the amusement parks like crazy.
I go there so much.
Yeah, it's so funny. All right, so you do that. So you and it's funny because for people who don't know it, you just started a flotation tank business.
Yeah.
But I want to get to that. Let's stay chronological. So you do the email marketing. Was that already hustler marketing, or what is it was called?
So no, look. So I moved. So wait, how did it go? So first I worked with Fritz on a few clients, and by the way, big up. He's a super smart guy. Love him. And then I think I moved to the Hustle House. That was September 2017. And then I kind of start to look for clients online. The major platform back then was like Upwork. There was some other options too. And it was kind of shitty, man. For the first 2-3 months, I just had bad gigs, write 6 emails for like $100. Like, really shitty. So I was like, fuck, this sucks. But then I think, January 2018, I close a client for $2K a month for email marketing. And I'm like, dude, I'm like on my fucking bicycle. I get the email. He says, yeah, okay, confirm, send me the invoice.
Dude.
I'm like $2,000 from one guy. I'm like, my mind is, I'll remember that feeling for the rest of my life. It was so beautiful, man. I was like, fuck.
Nice.
So, yeah, and then after that, man, things started to happen so quickly. So one thing I believe in business is that there is a special time with any new industry where you have 1-2 years where it's really easy because it's a new thing and it's the right thing. So if you kind of hit that spot, things happen, right? So I like, we can talk about this idea more later if you want, because I think it's a very powerful idea. So anyway, then I think in in 5 months, I remember April, May, we were already doing like 30-40K a month. I had like 7-10 people. Yeah, it went too fast because you literally back then, e-commerce stores didn't have all this email stuff, you just implemented that, you would increase their revenue by 20%. Like, that's a lot of money, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that was that. And then it's been now 7 years of the agency Hustler Marketing. We went through so many things. I could talk about this for like ages. There's like 4 management layers now and it's all this insane shit. But it's been a ride.
You still doing it?
Not much. I'm still functionally a CEO, but I work like 5 hours a week. My executive team is really strong.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really good. I don't do sales. I don't touch the accounts. We're now organizing for the second time meetups. This year we're gonna do 2, like 30 people in South Central America and 30 in Europe.
This is your staff or your clients? Or?
Oh, my staff. I'm just doing this for everybody so we can party and have fun. Yeah. It's important.
What are you doing in these 5 hours per week?
Mostly, so 1 hour a week, not every week, but I try to do it weekly, is a call with my director. So director of sales, director of service, and HR director. So I just like talk to them to see that everything's on point, you know, mainly our profitability, revenue targets, etc. So that's really mainly. And then the other thing is I kind of help the product development. That's kind of like R&D, because we're always trying to develop new services, and I think this is one of the keys. So email brought us this far. Like, mostly we were doing email for e-commerce. Now we do everything. We do ad buying, CRO, UGC, or whatever. But I don't know how it is in your industry, but there might be similarities. But like after a few years, things get stale and the competition picks up and it becomes a monster, and it's really hard. So we're trying to keep on developing new stuff, hoping that we get to that thing, right? For example, one thing in e-commerce right now that's still hot but already getting to mass marketing is UGC creatives, right? I know you guys do ads. So what we understood, at least in e-commerce, but I feel in other industries as well, is that ads used to be about targeting. You needed ad buyers that would be really smart and do all this complex lookalike and whatever. But today the algorithms are so strong, right? You just need good creatives. So you need like 50 videos a month or 100, all different hooks, right? And that's a good service that we can now offer, right? So
it's funny that you say that, because for us, we deal predominantly with online coaching, consulting, service providings that are usually a brand that is based around the person. So when we say, just like you said, like, hey, we need 50 ads, we need to test those, and we need 50 to 150 ads every quarter. The reason why most people can't make ads to work is because they don't want to shoot them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and when you do e-commerce, it's like about a physical product. You don't need to be there in yourself. You can outsource it pretty easily to people like you. But in our industry, it's like, hey, you need to shoot 50 ads. Most people are like, oh, I don't want to. Oh, this sucks. And that's why they suck at ads. The way we do it is we shoot about 150 to 200 ads in one day. But the way we do it is we just have 30 hooks, 30 body parts, as well as body parts, and then 30 call to action parts. And then you shoot these, and then you can mix them almost infinitely together. And the way we do this is like, I call this wheelchair mode. It's basically, we copyright them, then we slap them on a teleprompter, and I'm just working. I do whatever. I talk to clients, whatever, and my videographer sets up the shot, just like we're in the studio here right now, sets up the shot, sets up the lighting, sets up the teleprompter, everything there. And then like the second he's finished setting it up, there's no like, oh, Max, sit down, let me mess around with the focus, here's the microphone. No, it's like, okay, everything is prepared. Then he just like drags me by the t-shirt in front of the camera, and he's like over there talking to the camera, read what it says on the screen. And then it just like, hook 1, da-da-da-da-da, hook 2, da-da-da-da-da, hook 3, da-da-da. I just speak it into the camera, just read the words that are on the camera.
Like Joe Biden.
Yeah, like literally like Joe Biden, man. Literally like that. And then like, I don't even sometimes know what part of the script I'm in. It's just say, we don't need you, Max, to understand what's going on. We just need you to freaking read the things out so the editor can then cut it together. And that's how we shoot like per year, like probably like 600 ads or something like that. And it's one other thing you touched on, which I found was very interesting. There are situations in every newly emerging market where it's super easy. We call this like nice weather. It's like the weather is sunny and you can make money without being super on point with your sales. You can make money without having the best marketing. You can make money with only organic or only cold traffic and not both. And I was there, like with online coaching in 2019 when we transitioned. I mean, granted, it was not just the time of the market, but also the timing of my brand. I built a huge brand in the dating sector, and a lot of these young fellas that were these young men that I taught dating in that brand, they also wanted to build a business because the freedom business aspect kind of went along with them. So we, like in the first month of launching Freedom Business Mentoring, I think we made 300 or 350,000. And then I think in the third month, we cracked 500,000 a month.
Solid.
And I knew nothing. You know, I mean, I knew everything I need to know for my clients, but about my business, I had no idea about managing my sales team and anything like that. We just made money super easy. And then I fell into the trap of like, that was now my reference of money making. Like, oh, 500K a month, super easy. I don't know what the issue is. I don't do anything. Like I shot a video and then the rest of my team did everything. So I've completely lost a reference point. We made money for about a year super easily. And then organic started drying out because we just started closing everyone in my brand, and the brand didn't grow fast enough. You know, it's almost like you have a field of potatoes, and the potatoes grow, then you harvest all of them, and you think like, oh, every month is like the harvesting month.
Continue,
yeah. So we had to rebuild. We had to literally eat shit for about 2 years to figure out cold traffic. That was like 2020 to 2022. And now we're making everything just from cold traffic. We have almost zero organic because I completely stopped organic because I wanted to figure out cold traffic. That took all my mental capacity. I was going through living hell, basically. Literally hell on earth to figure, like, entire sales team left because they were all used to warm organic leads. All of a sudden they had to call people, follow up. So they're like, this sucks. I don't want to have to work for my money. So except for like 2 key players on the team, everybody left. Or I kicked them out because they were underperforming. So I had to eat shit for a long time. And now we're at a level where I do everything cold traffic. And it's funny because now we're rebuilding organic on top of that. That's why I do things like the podcast, although the podcast is more like I just want to talk to cool people like you. But also my YouTube channel, like my main YouTube channel now, not the old one, but the new one that I just started, it has 197 subscribers by the time of the recording. It's nothing. But we're already seeing at first people saying, oh, I watched a video. And that's really cool because the ads drag them into our ecosystem. And now we do organic on top of that, and it warms people up really nicely. So we give us...
Which channels you do ads, cold ads like Facebook?
YouTube and Facebook. And actually also Instagram, but Instagram is less cold ads, it's paid shout-outs, which is still paid advertising, basically.
And TikTok, Snap, no?
No, none of that. We dabbled around with TikTok a little bit. We might pick it up again when we have a little bit more leeway to test things out. But right now, we're still in the phase where we want to optimize as much as we can on the traffic channels that work the best for us. And and now you really realize, like, there's people who do cold traffic because they mastered it once. They got a really good media buyer, and they don't want to do organic because organic is a lot of work. Oh, I have to shoot videos. And then there's people who are used to organic, which means they're used to warm people coming in, fanboys, and they don't want to figure out cold traffic because they tried it and then it didn't work because the first person that they talk to on the phone comes from cold traffic, is suspicious, doesn't know them, is not a fanboy. But all the people that I know in the coaching, consulting, service providing industry that are crushing it, meaning multiple 7 figures a year upwards, 8 figures, and so on and so forth, they all have both. They cracked cold traffic, scaled cold traffic, and then added awesome organic on top of that.
I mean, look, you can't scale any business without cold/paid because that's leverage, right? Like, you can't, like, organic, unless you're doing, like, you have millions of followers, organic won't scale that fast because whenever something is paid and works, even if your profit is 5, that doesn't matter. Even if you just break even on the ads, right? You just put more money in, you get more results. That's how 10x, 100x happens. That's why e-commerce is, I know, you don't like e-commerce too much necessarily, but that's where we see the power that 100x can happen because of the ads. But nailing ads, any industry is fucking hard, right?
Yeah.
We tried paid on Facebook for my agency, Hustler, 3 times, man. 3 times, 20K ad spent.
Yeah.
We got jack shit.
Ah.
I mean, we got 10, 20 calls. It's just not, like for this, and we're doing other stuff with paid now, but like promotions in specific newsletters that got some calls and whatever. But Facebook for us, but that's different, right? Because that's B2B. It just wasn't that good on Facebook. Whereas if you're doing B2C, right, it's like you are teaching, people, individuals how to start. Then Facebook, of course, is going to be a powerhouse, right? Still, a lot of competition. You need to come up with some fresh angles. But yeah, if you pump out 100 ads a month, the likelihood is high that you're going to succeed, right? That's it. So, yeah, man. But I do like, I don't know, man. I've been thinking about this a lot for the last year or two. Because I see e-commerce is just crazy competitive. It's really not fun. And Tim Ferriss talks about this. He says, how does he call it? Niche of one. He's like, I don't try to be the best in my niche. I try to be the only one. And that's kind of smart.
Pretty smart.
Because, dude, this thing with like the floating, and we can talk about it later, but just how easy ads were here. Dude, we turn on ads, the first batch. And we're like doing 2 ROAS,
Wow.
Dude, like
that's nice.
First month, 150, like it's crazy, right? It's just, and it's because it's and we saw that in research. It's a very new thing. It's a very new service, right? People don't know it. You make some cool ads, you show it, people are like, ooh, I want to try that. It's not like the grind where you're literally like with e-commerce, I feel sometimes we're like shoving down stuff people's throats.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you need it, bro.
Yeah.
You fucking need this. And it's completely different there. So I'm like, okay, what other industries are like that? For example, like I'm thinking a lot about real estate. How shitty real estate agents are. Like, think about it. Their processes suck. They don't call you back. They don't like upsell, cross-sell. Like, it's like, I'm like, if we come in with like agency processes into something like that, that could be fucking baller, But anyway, I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, I love it, man.
That's the entrepreneurial.
Here's something interesting. So you talked about research before you started the flotation tank thingy. Yeah. Walk me through the ideation phase. How the hell you even thought about that? Because it's very much outside your comfort zone from online to offline.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I know you personally well, so I suppose there's some sort of passion aspect to it.
Absolutely.
And then also walk me through the research. How did you research if that's going to be a viable thing? What was your calculations like in regards to costs, profitability that you need, and so on and so forth?
Research was a massive part, and it took almost 6 months, and I'll get to that. But it was a massive part. So in passion also, because I mean, look, first when I started e-commerce in the agency, it's been 7 years now with that, right? I was passionate about it, but last 2 years I'm not like crazy hyped. I don't hate it. I know a lot about it. I feel comfortable, but I'm like, yeah. And this is typical of many entrepreneurs, not all, but many. It's this. You like starting new things, you have ideas, but you don't really enjoy finishing them. It's like, like let somebody else do that, right? I'll just make the idea. So anyway, so I was doing this a lot. So this is a flotation therapy thing. I was doing this a lot in Bangkok where I used to live. I went out twice a week, right? It's a very interesting concept. It's sensory deprivation, right? You get to either relax or work on some of your issues, business ideas, whatever, right? It's very cool. So I was doing that a lot, and I was like, that's sick. Like, why is this not more popular? This is great. Like, why are people not doing this? And then I came back home to Ljubljana, right, Slovenia, and there is one small center doing that there. And I tried to book the service, and I can't, right? I can't pay online. They're like, we will call you. Ooh. And then 2 days later, I'm playing computer games or something, and somebody's calling me, so about the float. I'm like, what? But just hang up, right? I'm like, this sucks. Like, what the fuck? Like, why do you need to call me? And I was like, okay. And then some time passed, and I actually met the owner of that center in Bangkok through a friend, because I think he was actually interested to sell, because he had like a million things going on. He's like an older guy. And then I learned about the numbers behind the scene, and that center had 50% profitability.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
With that shitty service too?
True. And I was like, wow, like what? And we're like, if we have like 25% is really good.
Yeah.
Agency world 30 is like, wow.
Yeah.
Right? And 50 there, I'm like.
And it's an in-person physical thing.
Right. But think about it, right? So flotation pods, right? Think of it like maybe you can put in an image or whatever. But think of it like a bathtub that you close, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is literally like a massage salon without a person. It's a machine, right? So think about it. You have 6 rooms where massages can happen nonstop.
Yeah.
But you don't need to pay anybody to do it because it's a machine. So that's where the profitability.
But you do, how much electricity do these suck? What about water?
It's not.
Do you have to exchange the water or the salt?
You have to add the salt, but it goes through cleaning. Like, dude, there's so inside of a tub is 500 liters of water and 300 kg of salt.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of
salt. That's
a
lot, man.
One day I didn't do a lot of work on the construction and everything, but one day I came to help carry salt. And dude, we just carried fucking salt bags for like 2 hours, like on the shoulders. It was
just dumped them in.
So no. And I have to put it in very slowly. Dude, it's insane, man. So,
but that is a good point. So you have one person at the reception, I guess, that shows people in.
Correct,
and that's it.
Correct. When it gets more full, we might need another cleaner, to go quickly through. But exactly, that's, besides the rent, that's the biggest cost. We need to have like 2-3 receptors and then marketing. Right now, we still spend quite a lot on Facebook ads and whatnot. But once we have a bigger customer base, the ad spend will go down, the repeat purchases kick in, and it's a wildly profitable business. While it's still something that's fucking cool that I genuinely believe helps people, right? Dude, people come out of there and they're like, whoa, that's so nice, right? Yeah, in a month, we have almost more reviews than the previous center in like 3 years.
Wow.
It's insane. So.
It's such a cool story to basically you take someone that comes from this online red ocean space that is just where you fight for every single client and you basically need to be close to perfect to make it work at all. And you go into a space where someone that did it half-assed was still thriving. And now you come in with all these crazy procedures and you instantly take off.
Exactly. I think a lot about that, right? And I believe there are so many more spaces for that.
Yeah.
Like, because like, why, competition is hard, man. But anyway, it doesn't change the fact that anybody who, I believe, whoever starts something and they don't have like, daddy money and whatever, like they need to go through the grind phase of a few years where you just like, you just have to, right? But once you do that, then now you have, now you have money, now you have other resources, like you can work smart, right? No need to fucking kill yourself over shit. So, yeah.
So that was, let's walk me through again through the research.
Oh, yeah. So passion was number one, right? I really believe in this thing. I see a space in the market. That was number one. Number two was actually the person who I worked with. And I didn't know this back then with the agency stuff, but now I'm putting way more emphasis on the people around me. I never want to start a business with many employees again because it's crazy, headaches in terms of personnel. And I love the team and Hustler, don't get me wrong, but it's just so many things to think about.
Yeah.
There's like 55 people there now. It's insane. So I knew I wanted something with a small team, and I knew I don't want to. So pretty good book, Traction by Gino something. They talk about implementer and the visionary, right? So I know I don't want to be the person that does a lot of things logistically, but more, business ideas, bring in my contacts, resources, whatnot. So I am doing this with, my ex-assistant, a VA, and she's amazing, right?
Claudia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know her, right?
Yeah, she worked with us as well.
Exactly.
And then she just recently messaged me, and she's like, hey, I'm going to go all in as a CEO or whatever she does in the floating thing. And I'm like, you go crush, girl.
and it hurts to lose her as an assistant.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen to me. So I was like, well, fuck, that sucks.
Yeah.
I did find another one that's really good.
Oh, nice.
Maybe I can connect you later or whatever.
Sick.
But yeah, so I knew from working with her for 3 years that she's just really good. So basically I was like, whatever, like anything, I would do anything with you because you're so good, right? So first we were thinking about some like washing business, you know, where we would, how do you call even that? Like we would
dry cleaning?
Yeah, something like that, but it would be delivery. You know, like you would go to a person's house, pick up their clothes, deliver it back next day, all clean, ready to, you know. And we weren't too excited. The numbers didn't look too good because we did some initial tests and whatnot. But then with this, so the research was first, like she literally called all the centers in Europe and the US, right? We knew what kind of flotation pods they were using, which models, how much did they cost, what's their expenses. Let
me chime in real quick. When you called them, you were like, hey, what's up? My name is so-and-so. I want to build a business just like yours in a different place, so we're not going to compete or whatever. Don't worry. But is it cool if I ask you a couple questions?
I don't think it was like that. I don't know what the script was, but essentially, well, before even calling them, first is just like Google, right? Let's see how many centers are in London. What about in Paris? And then we would see, you know, go to the web. Like you can get so much information if you just go on the website, right? You click the booking stuff and you see if they have a lot of availability or not, right? So first it was just how many of there are there in Europe, in whatever, right? Slovenia. And then there's also like a Facebook group with all these like people inside. We joined those. I mean, that's mostly all Claudia, so I don't even know everything that she did, right? Then in European Union, you can actually get financials from all the companies. Like that's the law, right? So we actually got financials of many of these centers. They seem to be doing pretty well, but not amazingly. It seemed like those centers that were run more professionally were doing really well, and the more mom and pop businesses not so well. What else? Yeah, and then, you know, sourcing these, you know, where will we buy our pots, which company, how much does it cost? And then the whole fucking technical part is like, there are so many components, cleaning, electricity, like the fucking, yeah, it's quite complex. But yeah, after a few months of that, we're like, okay, this looks like it could work. You know, the initial investment was whatever. We thought it's going to be like 150K. I was like, I have that money. I'm not, even if it goes away, I don't care that much. It's fine. I don't want to buy a car or a house or whatever. So let's do that, right? It turned out to be more, obviously, right? But
how much did it turn out to be?
About 250 for now. And we're still not break even, but it's the first month. But I think June could be break even, if not July for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. It's a different kind of business. It's really fresh. I genuinely love it. You know, it's really fun to play with it, tinker with it.
And you go yourself, you said, like 2 times a week?
I go every week at least once, if not more. Yeah, it's really fun.
What are the things that you guys are focusing on now to make it break even and then eventually profitable? You mentioned marketing before. You can walk me through that?
Oh, so there's many elements. So I believe every business is, it's kind of hard to say, but one part is, you know, sales and then delivery, right? Or if there's a product, that's different, right? But so first, I did that with the agency. Personally, I believe that's the better approach, and we're doing that in the Floatation Center as well. We believe the delivery has to be at least on a very good level before you go hardcore on sales, because otherwise you're selling junk, and I really don't like that. So first we pimped up all the sort of, you know, all the checklists, just also visited a lot of other centers, just learned how to do the process really well for the customer. When we installed our pods, we did rigorous testing to make sure that the experience is really nice, make sure that the renovation, like that everything is just like really nice for the customer. Then we also actually had 2 weeks where we were just doing tests with friends and family, right? So we just sent friends and family in, you know, go have fun, enjoy, and tell us what's not good, blah, 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 so that when the paying customers come, it's all perfect, right? So this was a big part of the plan.
What were kind of the things the kind of feedback points you got from friends and family, and how did you get them to be honest? Because a lot of them, they want to support you. They're like, it was great.
No, they're honest. I mean, it's also just like, I think that was like 30 people maybe. But no, it's small things, but small details matter. Like, for example, the sensors for the light in the room turn out too fast, right? It's like, and it's dark before you want it. Or, there's like a ventilator in the pod, right, that can bring you fresh air. Sorry. And it still smelled like plastic because the pods are new. So then we just closed that and we said, just like open the door if you need a little more air, or we added special lighting to the chill room, or, like small things. I think it's kind of like hospitality a little bit, For example, for me, I notice such small details, even the fact when I sit down in the chill room after the session and the tea was just poured into my cup, it's too hot, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, why can't there be a process that you just do the tea a few minutes before they finish and then it's pleasantly warm, not fucking steam? But anyway, could be called perfectionism as well.
And these small things, man, that's what makes it. So it makes it or breaks it, man.
It's then it's perfect, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole experience. I think that's king. That's also why we got already nice reviews and word of mouth and whatnot. But the marketing is mostly ads. As I said, I didn't expect it to be so easy. I was prepared for a much harder battle, but it was quite easy. So we hired a Slovenian agency that's really good in these UGC creatives, right? So they just shot me, the co-founder, some other sort of like influencer / creator. So I think we got like 5 people. Each person had maybe 3-4 different scripts, concepts, you would call them body parts in your ad. And then, of course, a bunch of different hooks. Uploaded all of that into Facebook. Budget is like $100 a day, and then sales start to come in.
Sick.
So it's just epic, right? And then other parts, but still, right now it's a little bit expensive, right? So a session would be 55 euro. If you deduct the tax, that's actually 48 or 7, I don't know. And we need to pay right now. So it started with a cost per acquisition at about 25 euros. Now it's down to like 17, which is already good. It's profitable, but still, the rent isn't cheap. The salaries I pay are not cheap, right? So we have to decrease that. And it's progressing. We're going to do a new batch of creatives and whatnot. And then, of course, email marketing. I know that, so we set that up. There's just a few basic automations in the system. We use Omnisend at the moment. And then newsletters, right? We just sent the first few ones last week, 70% open rates.
Wow, get out of here.
Epic, bro.
Oh, that's so beautiful. It's 70%.
Sick.
And that's, again, probably something that nobody does in your space. A freaking newsletter.
Oh, yeah, and we just sent a few pictures and we said, look, this was the opening part. It was really nice. Friends and family came. By the way, here's a 25% code if you want to come, right? Like, chill. Just talk to them like they're a person, right? We have a plan for a Facebook group with like a community element, where hopefully they can kind of hype each other and whatnot. And then the really exciting things are, if this works, and I think it's going to work, I think it can very easily be branched out, either as a franchise or... It's insane, man.
Dude.
Yep.
I'll buy one, man.
Yeah,
I'll buy a franchise.
Yeah,
man. Actually, okay, hold on a second. That is actually a sick place to do it in, because it is already a term, in German we call it a Kurort, which is for spas. Like, we have so many spas around.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, dude, we got like some of the most famous spas. It's literally the word Bad in Bad Aussee stands for, it's related to the idea of having spas. And exactly. So we have thermal baths. We have high quality of water, the highest quality water in the world, high quality of air. So the concept fits actually really well. Man.
There you go.
Because I thought, and that's also like, I wanted to keep all these questions for the podcast because I found it really interesting. I thought this is we're talking about 5 to 10% profitability, grind it out, crazy, difficult. But the way you made it seem is like, oh, that's actually, because you did such good research. It's such a good concept. It's not like a restaurant where you're like the bazillionth restaurant in that position. No, you're doing something very fresh. So obviously I know you're really good at what you do, and you got the grinding, and you got the right mindset, and you're not just about money, but you're enough about money to really make it work, and you got your heart into that, and so on and so forth. So it's pretty cool. One quick thing I wanted to ask you is influencers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, or are you planning to reach out to influencers to get them in, do whatever Instagram stories and stuff?
Working on that now. I don't have conclusive thoughts yet, but we knew from the beginning this is a very visual thing, right?
Yeah.
It's really, so we were thinking influencers are going to be a big part of this. We were thinking more micro or like medium level influencers, think 5, 10, 20K followers, not like really big ones, because they might want a lot of money for their services. So we've started to like DM people. It's like, hey, do you want to come for like a free float? If you want, you can drop some story, and then later on, if you want, we can talk about collaboration, right? So people are very responsive so far. They love it. They're like, yeah, sure, I'll come or whatever, right?
Sick.
Yeah, but I'm still a bit I was taught marketing as a direct response copywriter, right? So that means I love it when I see clear attribution.
Yeah.
And I hate the fucking, oh yeah, this is for branding and the reach. Like,
you can't measure it.
I don't care too much about that, right? Like, give me sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's talk. So, right, so maybe with like a really big influencer, you give them a code, you can maybe track, and it could work if they... Right, if they have the right audience, it could work. But there's also a lot of work working with influencers. So you need to tell them, do this, do that. So far, we're just thinking to have something like 3 to 4 ambassadors. So basically, some of these people with a following, even if it's not crazy big, they come float a few times. They become a fan. We want the die-hard fans, and then they will get their personalized code. And whatever sales they get, we can either give them free floats or a part of that commission or whatever. So that's for now. But yeah, it hasn't been... 5 months ago, I would think it's going to be more prominent. It still might turn out to be, but now. Do you have experience with that, or why do you ask? Do you have some ideas?
Well, first of all, I have experience with it from both sides. Because I was also, for example, I was representing ProBroWare. I think we talked about it yesterday. And those were just good friends of mine. So I kind of know how they are doing it. But they also told me it's a lot of pain in the ass because, not to throw anyone under the bus, but influencers are influencers for a reason.
Exactly.
Because they're not necessarily business-minded or can communicate well. So it's a little bit like you're handling a bunch of divas.
Yeah.
A friend of mine runs a model agency. Same spiel here. It's like it's really hard to manage.
Exactly.
But... with the tracking, that's also interesting. So what we're doing is Instagram shout-outs. We're spending about 20, 25K a month on Instagram shout-outs. And that's something that is untrackable. There's no way, like, how are you going to track it? It's not like you run an ad and then you know how many people see it, what the click-through rate is. You basically pay an account to post your content on the stories or on the feed, and then you get followers. But it could be that half of the followers come from one of your organic posts that just happened to went viral. So what we actually started this last month is we just said, what's the craziest, complete lunatic, what's the craziest, complete lunatic nerd way of tracking something? Like, how can we go as autistic as possible on that? So what we've developed is actually a very, very intrinsic tracking system with ManyChat, Excel sheets, and Zapier integrations. Nobody does that because everybody's just like, let's throw money on ads, on paid shout-out ads, and then when the money comes back, we're good. Like, as long as it makes money, we're happy. But we said we want to know exactly what post gets us the most money, what post gets us the most responses, what gets us the most responses from the exact audience we want versus vanity metrics. Oh, this one got us 100 DMs, but they're all from third world countries, for example. So we came up with specific call to action words that someone in a promotional post DMs us, and then that gets fed into ManyChat with an autoresponder. And
smart.
It's pretty sick. And then it gets fed into ManyChat with an autoresponder, and it gives them an automatic tag in ManyChat. And through the Zapier integration, that tag number then gets fed into an Excel sheet. So we know okay, 200 people responded to that exact call to action. But that still doesn't give us the qualitative measure of like, where do these people come from? How many do get disqualified from these when they DM us? So we added a manual aspect to that. Our DMers, they basically have to categorize each inbound lead into either disqualified, third world country or too young, qualified with no further information, meaning we just know they're in a first world country and they have money, qualified and they're already active as a coach, consultant, or service provider, which fits into what we offer because we offer for beginners, we offer for people that are already doing it, we offer for people that are already making good money but they want to scale. And then the next category is like they already run a coaching, consulting, or service providing business. They're already making money, but not as much as they would like to. So, okay, they want to scale. And then we have subcategories for each and every one of those. Just wants to make money online, and is thinking about starting coaching, definitely wants to start coaching, and is already a coach. So it's like the different levels of how warm are they about the business model that we're doing. And those can only be identified in the DM conversation per se, because our DMers DM them, hey, what's up? What are your goals? You already know that you want to do online coaching. Now they get the tag, wants to do online coaching, versus someone else that says, I just want to make money online and I'm looking at different business models like drop shipping and maybe also coaching. So then we would give them a different tag. And the combination of these tags, so someone comes from inbound, from XYZ call to action word, and has then received the tag from the DMer that they're super bought in or not so bought into the business model, that combination that gets fed again into ManyChat tags and then into Zapier. So we can then know, okay, X% of people from these posts are super bought into the business model and are qualified. And out of those, our closing rate is whatever, 25%. So we can, like, over time, we're right now in the ramp up phase where we're gathering all that data. And our belief is that over the next 2-3 months, we're able to optimize so hard with the Instagram shoutouts. Nobody else does that. And I left out enough details from people so they can't just steal it. That's going to be really, really crazy because we're basically building a scaffolding, like a skeleton of tracking and metrics around a platform that wasn't built for that. Platform Instagram was just built to upload photos, videos. So we're kind of using like almost like a Facebook ads dashboard that we will then have for our Instagram shoutouts.
I have a million ideas about that.
Yeah, good.
The first one was, dude, you went balls deep into sales, man. I love that. I mean, last time, because we know each other a long time, right? But I don't know. I think last time we really talked business was maybe Cyprus. I don't know. I know we talked a bit, right? It was, right? And I mean, because now what you're basically describing is all these like individual buyer personas, which are all similar but slightly different.
Yeah.
You're also describing they're like in slightly different journey phases, right? And yeah, as anybody like with the business, you need to understand that, right? And I'm like, shit, man, like you went deep. Like,
yeah, we did.
You got deep.
We did.
Like you understand all, because I don't know, like a few years ago, I don't think you were that, right?
Yeah, definitely did.
So this is, and this is really nerdy. Probably for a lot of people listening, like last 5 minutes of you talking, they got lost. They got like, wait, what? And the buyer that said this, and that's how deep you need to understand the sales funnel if you are to make it count, because all those nuances matter when it comes to closing, right? But here's the idea. I don't know if you can or when, but if you make that shit into a software, bro, you probably thought about it already.
Yeah, we did.
So that is right, because I don't think something like exactly like that exists out there. Maybe, right? But man, if you got that kind of working on, that's baller. Because software's fucking 30x.
Yeah, software is huge.
Multipliers, man, it's just nuts.
I've had Xenios and Sergio Caralambos on, and they had software as well, and they're like, but the thing is, we're creating this out of necessity.
Of course.
Because we're in such a red ocean make money online. People have distrust like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because I'm like, cool, distrust us all you want because you're not going to be able to escape from our client reviews, from all the awesome word of mouth,
Yeah.
from me being fucking everywhere, podcast, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram Reels, YouTube short form, YouTube long form, everything. Facebook, LinkedIn, Yeah, I should do Reddit as well. You can't escape because I'm everywhere, and I don't mind because I love creating content. That's like my favorite thing in the company. We've talked about this as well many times on this podcast, and you and I personally. Primary skill, secondary skill, tertiary skill. My primary skill is creating content. Is what I love.
For sure.
That's also like what I'm always circling back to is like I have to build a big project. I have to make something work. Then I delegate it. Then I manage it. And then I'm like, okay, now back to just creating content all day. So please, by all means, go ahead and distrust us because ultimately quality always comes through. And we've been in the market for like, 6 years now.
It's been a while, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're not going to stay in the market for that long if what you do is shitty. We've had fuck-ups, definitely. We've had unhappy clients, definitely. But at the same time, the vast majority is always good. And we learn from every single fuck-up. We learn from every single painful fuck-up. As painful as it is. We learn from it, and we made everything we do much better, and now it's even better, and next month it will be even better, and so on and so forth. But, yeah, we created out of necessity. So I don't think many people need it now, but I think over the years it will become more important because Instagram shoutouts is still in its infancy. It's super underpriced. It's so cheap. It's like Facebook ads back in, I don't know when they started, 2008 or something like that.
Dude, I think everybody would need that, man.
Yeah, it's super underpriced. Like, it's so cheap right now to still do Instagram shoutouts, and there's no tracking, no nothing. So a lot of people just make money, right? Like you said, like, oh, as long as we make money, I don't care. I don't want to do some nerd stuff. We make money, it's fine because it's so cheap. But as it will become more and more expensive and as the competition will get higher, people gonna need to track better.
No, I don't mean necessarily that. I mean what you talked about, right? How to, the incoming traffic from social platforms.
Yeah.
How to, if you have a system that correctly attributes where they're coming from and their, whatever personas, buckets. If you can do that, so many businesses would want to buy that.
You can do that. You can do that with Hyros.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Hyros is Alex Becker's software, but that doesn't work for Instagram because Instagram is all, like, Hyros all works based on links and tags that you get, like pixel tags, like a Facebook pixel. That's what Hyros does. But you can't do that on Instagram. You can't put a pixel on Instagram.
Follower, you don't know where they
Exactly.
Right?
So you can do it with social media in general, but you cannot do it with Instagram DMs because you have to, like...
Yeah, but that's a massive part, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Almost the biggest, right? It's
100%.
like they follow you, they DM you something, and then either just a fan, do they want to buy?
Yeah.
Especially if you're like some B2B business, it's also like, wait, what? Like, is this some... But anyway, yeah, it's a long topic, but yeah.
It adds so many layers of complication because now you can't just hire an outbound appointment setter. I was like, you message people because that's what everybody can do. There's so many appointment setting programs out there that teach that part of it. But now you're like, hey, by the way, you also need to understand every single one of our 6 audiences. You need to understand the variation within 6 audiences, and you need to understand how the tags work, and you need a tag. So now if you hire the wrong appointment setter, someone that just wants to copy-paste and grind it out, but they don't understand the marketing aspect behind it and the tagging, or they slack off on it. Exactly. So now they will ruin leads and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of intricacies that we've had to develop also on the management side and on the hiring side to make sure we got the right people. And funny enough, the guy that does it now for us and that is doing very, very well, he just started the management position as a Slovenian. Oh. Yeah, shout out, Chris. Yeah, he started as our DMer.
Christian?
Yeah, Christian, I think, yeah. He started out as quote-unquote just a DMer, and then he started being like, hey, Max, I created a Loom video with like patterns that I saw in our team in general, because he and 2 other lead generers would do DMs. And like I noticed that we need to improve this and this, and here's a summary. And I'm like, I like the thinking. First of all, I like the proactivity. Yeah. Second of all, you have the exact correct thinking, looking for patterns and looking to how to fix it. And also he had the communication skills to do that because he could, I've seen this many times, he could have also said, hey, the other 2 lead generers suck. Here's proof what they're not doing right. He didn't, he communicated in a corporate manner of like, hey guys, let's all stick our heads together and improve on that. And those are all the checkboxes to start. Not all the checkboxes a manager or leader needs, but all the checkboxes a manager or leader needs to start there's all the checkboxes that they need to fulfill later on. But I'm like, you have the potential to become a great leader in this because you got the right thinking, you got the right checkboxes. So I said, hey, I want you to become the manager, and we'll work together on that. I'll help you with, the management skills because he's inexperienced in it, but he has what it takes. So yeah, there's a lot of layers to complication of that, but it works out.
You know what's one thing in management? Could just mentioned it. I started to kind of change my sort of thinking about, because we come from a place where hustlers would be appreciated, right? This person has the work ethic. They're like willing. They have the passion. Even if they have no skills, they're willing to work really hard. So let's just hire them, right? Everybody wins.
Yeah, that's how we used to do it.
Yeah. And that was my agency too for many years, right? And God bless to this day, right? My first hire is now director of HR.
Wow.
Yeah, dude,
that is
Olin, man. I love that guy, man. 7 years
Shout
together. With one time we went to like Bangkok for a conference. He just stays in Asia for 2 years. He starts living there. It's a crazy guy. I love him. So but nowadays I'm thinking more like, I don't. That's not enough. Like the person needs to have experience.
Yeah.
Because it's too slow. I don't want my company to be your fucking, learning project.
Yeah.
Like, no, like ain't nobody got time for that. Like, here's the project. You have 3 to 6 months, do something. I'm not gonna ask you, have you done it? I'm not gonna be check in we'll see after 3 to 6 months if you haven't, right? It's a different approach to management. In a way, it's harder, especially if you're like a little bit OCD controlling. I had a lot of work to get through that, because you kind of want to know if everything is done on point and whatever. But now it's more like that. It's like, and I think this second business with the floating, it started as I don't do stuff, you have the decisions. And that's the deal from the beginning, and it's working fantastically. And I have so much free time. It's so beautiful. Deal. Yeah,
I saw it, man. I saw it. So we're here in Vienna right now, and we're staying in an Airbnb, like a big Airbnb crib together with our buddy Yo Viral, and you're just like playing video games, reading book, and I'm like, damn, that's a chill version of Boštjan I've never seen.
Yeah,
it's very, very funny, and it's so cool how our journeys coalesce all the time. They're almost like oscillating away from each other and back together. Because for me, I told you yesterday as well, when we were watching Furiosa in the movie theater, I'm like, it's June now. And for me, it's still January, because the whole year I've just been grinding from January till now. And now is the first month where I'm like, all right, everything is in place. All the new projects we set up, it's all running. Everybody's there. Everybody's crushing it. Team is great. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't have anything to do. And I just come out of this, you've been driving 100 miles an hour on the freeway the entire last 6 months. And now all of a sudden you can slow down and you can go chill. And I'm in this level now as well, which is very interesting, because my mind, I think your mind has already come to rest. You're like, oh, let me do the thing. Mine is just started to rest and doesn't understand where it is. It's like, what am I going to do? What about the thing? There is no thing. But I thought that there is the thing. My mind is still very much in this alertness. It's really funny. And then when yesterday we went to see Metallica, which is why my voice is so messed up.
For sure.
And even there, I'm like, my mind is like, I would grab my phone and I would feel the phone in my pocket during the concert. I'm like, what are you going to do on the phone? There's nothing for you to check, man. There's not.
Open Slack.
Yeah. But me, the weirdest thing, the biggest mind fuck is, I realized this the other day. I talked to my mom about this. It's really because she's a psychotherapist. We talk a lot about this as well. I'm like, for the last 2 or 3 years, I always needed to be reachable. I always need to be reachable on WhatsApp. Calls need to go through all the time. That's what I thought. I needed to be reachable in case there's an emergency, right? And then a couple months ago, I caught myself also like, okay, I got to be reachable. And then I asked myself that question, well, when was the last time you had to be reachable because there was an emergency? And the last 5 years, there hasn't ever been And I mean, there's been emergencies, but never an emergency that was fixed by me being reachable. So 5 years, but I still had the habit of being reachable and of checking my WhatsApp every 30 seconds, maybe not 30 seconds, but like 30 minutes. I still had the habit. And then I'm like, why am I still having the habit if I never needed it in the last 5 years? So that habit was almost like an appendix. It's like an evolutionary leftover that used to have usage, but not anymore. And now I'm like, why do I still have that? The habit still survived. Old habits die young, or whatever it's called, die hard. Old habits die hard. And so ever since then, this entire year now, I just have my WhatsApp off. I get 0 notifications. I don't have anything turned on. And what I do is like I just reply to WhatsApps in bulk 2, maybe 1, maybe 3 times a day. I just sit down, I have all the WhatsApp messages, I click on the oldest one, reply, next one, reply, next one, reply. And in between, I'm just like trying to not look.
And it's already a little bit freeing. It's still weird, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's weird, and it's like you're like a gorilla that just got put back into the wilderness, and you're like, is it real? Am I there? Can I just go wherever I want?
You know what's like next stage and a completely mindfuck one? You open messages or Slack and there's nothing there.
Oh,
Wait, you've been gone? It's weird.
yeah.
You've been gone? I've been gone 3 weeks. There's like 3 DMs.
Is it working? Is it refreshing?
Like, there's 3 DMs. I'm like, wait, what? Is there something wrong? I start checking channels. Did client churn? Did something bad happen?
Yeah.
No. I'm like, okay, that's weird, right?
It's so strange.
It's weird.
Because it's only like that alertness in your brain that gets you to that level.
Correct.
Then it's like you don't need the alertness anymore.
Correct.
But you're like, but the alertness is all I have. What is it? What is called?
I think this is really hard for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because as you said, you don't get to that place without that awareness. At least if you're a first-time business owner, right?
True. First time,
you just don't get there. But a lot of people have troubles, I don't know, transcending or whatever, because it's not just will things go wrong. It's also like you're good at that, right? You're comfortable there. You're like, you're doing something that you're fucking badass at. You've been like perfecting it for years, right? You have your team, you have the respect, like you work 2 hours, you make tens of thousands of dollars. That's a good feeling, right?
Yeah.
So when you kind of set that aside and you're just like alone in your flat and you're like, well, what do I do now? It becomes weird, right?
Yeah.
And then the concepts of anxiety come and like other stuff and change. And then what are all these internal things that motivated me to hustle so hard for so long? Like, why? Is it security? Is it, right? There's all this like shit, and it's scary sometimes, and it's easier to just like hustle more, right?
Yeah.
But that's how I could understand or explain to myself people who make like millions of dollars and then they're like, I want more. I want 100 mil, because 10 is not enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's cool, but whatever, like I don't spend that much cash, right? So
you really don't, man. That's the funniest thing. Like you are really one of the few people that really stayed looking like a bum.
Well, thank you, sir.
I'm saying this.
I know.
This is literally a compliment, right? It's just funny.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. Like, I love looking like a bum. I work like when I work like a bum, without a shirt, sitting on my kitchen table. Well, actually, now I have an office, but I present myself nicer when I'm in public. Like, I literally just put these damn shirts on whenever there's a camera on. But other than that, I just love looking like I like this under the radar thing, like looking like a bum.
But look, you have a brand and you have to have a certain image and whatever, right? So that's slightly different, which is also one of the reasons I'm so happy I never had or continued with the personal brand. It's so great to be like unknown and I can just like, it just doesn't matter, right? I really enjoy that. I don't think, because I know, and there's some like a friend we met, he said, I want to be famous and everything. And I was like, that's cool. But I would really dislike that. I really do not want that.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
I
love that. I love that part. Okay. I love it. I love sharing stuff. I've always been the guy, even in school already, when I discovered something cool, I wanted everybody to do the same. And for me, social media is exactly that. It's less about the bravado and look at me. It's more like, hey guys, we saw Metallica. You should see Metallica. Like, that's like,
It's
Hey,
a cool band, bro.
Online it is cool, man.
My first time.
It was your first,
cool.
man. Dude, I'm so happy you liked it, man.
Cool, dude.
And it's like, hey guys, we figured this thing out about online coaching. You should do it. Like that's all. For me, it's all just sharing. It's like I'm going into class in the morning. Like back in the school days, and you've just watched a cool movie the night before, and you want to talk about the movie. That's my life, and it's just that people get to pay me for that, and I get to do the awesome stuff on free content, and then that makes people warmed up, and then people recognize me on the street. Like, hey man, I have a question about the thing. And I'm like, yeah, like, let's go. I'll give you value. And I want everything to be filmed. I love nothing more than having a camera guy just with me 24/7 and just filming rants. And I do cool stuff. Like, I love that part, man. It's the favorite part about my business. Man.
And I think it shows in your content that you really enjoy that.
I hope so. It would be cool. That's always been like my biggest thing about social media. I can share cool stuff.
I remember the YouTube rants from back in Badauze where you were just about to release that big product and you had these like YouTube rants where you were just for hours and hours and yell and laugh.
The live streams.
Yeah. Oh, all this emotional plethora, man.
Yeah, dude.
It was so sick.
An hour live stream every day.
Every day, dude.
People ask me often, how do I get good at public speaking? I'm like, hour live stream every day. Even if it's 3 people watching, fuck it. Just the mere fact that you can monologue for an hour without any physical feedback, because when you're doing a live stream, you're doing it into a camera. The camera doesn't move. The camera doesn't make faces.
It doesn't give you energy back.
Doesn't give you any energy back. No feedback, whether it's interesting or whatsoever. The only feedback that you get is maybe like the amount of people that are watching right now. And if you start rambling, it drops off. But who cares? I never looked at that. That really helps.
Yeah.
So you're going to do the flotation thing. Did you ever have an exit plan in mind? Like, oh, I want to do this for 10 years and exit, or do you want to run forever? You want to give it to...
I don't know. I had, of course, I thought about it. I spoke to my team about it a bit, but the consensus was like right now I do a lot of profit sharing. I actually share 30% of the profits back to the team. So we're kind of said, look, as long as we're still growing, and we have grown every year since, right? As long as we are...
With the agency now.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as we're still growing, things are good, let's just do that. Because it's kind of cool that you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? Because if somebody acquires you, then, you need to change your name. And there's like other stuff. So there's no like need, but if things go... Like, I know that if things... kind of turned bad and I would need to like kind of come back to save the thing, I would probably not want to do that. Like I would just feel like I would need to rape myself or something, and I don't want ever to be on the 8-12 hour hustle train again. It's just...
Yeah, that's tough.
Dude, it's just my soul, man. I have an artistic soul, I think. I like music, right? I don't want to do that to myself ever again. It's just not like, fuck that. And with the flotation, no, that's just the beginning, man. I haven't started that even with, like, I didn't even think about money when I started that. It was just, basically I was bored. So I was like, well, I should do something that's fun. And yeah, like, it's fun if it's a business, there's money involved. It's more fun because it's like, if you fuck it up, like you lose or whatever, but that's not the main point. I think I'm going to start other shit. It seems right now that I will be involved in different businesses on this just like ideation level, and maybe, like a call once a week, but that's it. That seems fun, and like I can contribute where I'm good at while I kind of conserve my personal liberty and freedom. So I think that's the future path, I believe.
Do you have any industry in mind that you want to start the next thing in?
Not specifically, but I see opportunities everywhere. I think I might want to do like a restaurant in my hometown. Like,
restaurant, man.
Yeah,
you go
dude.
straight to the hardest part, huh?
Bro, I mean, like, my hometown is like, it's called Novo Mesto, right? It's in the middle between Zagreb and Ljubljana, the capitals of Slovenia and Croatia. It's like, 50K people there, or maybe 40K. It's a small city. But I love it there, There's my childhood house and my dog, and right. And dude, the restaurants there suck. They are so bad, man. There's like 4 decent ones, and that's it. You can't get a shisha anywhere. There's no like special. Dude, I'm pretty sure if I make something cool there with like shishas and cool drinks, like I was in Colombia, they drink cocoa, limonada de coco, so coconut lemonade. Dude, it's so good. Like you would think that the lemonade and coconut don't go together, but you would love it, dude. It's really epic. It's like coconut cream and lemonade.
Oh,
yeah, and
let's
like,
go.
dude, it's so yummy, right? So we do some shit like that. Like everybody's gonna be there, right? But again, I just need somebody to do that. I have this like old friend. He's a gangster. Like he's like we used to like, I don't know if I can say that, but we used to like sell weed together right when I was like 16. So he's a guy, and now he's I wouldn't say he's struggling in life, but he doesn't really have a job, and right. And he has experience in restaurants, right? So I'm trying to convince him that like I'm just gonna like rent something for 6 months if he just wants to run it, because it's gonna be like what, 20K, not so stuff like that, do something that's fun, maybe involve somebody I care about, something along that side,
And you want to stay in Slovenia next years?
Probably that's the base. Like I see. That has been the base since like early this year, but I've been to like fucking 15 countries. I'm like, what's going on? Like what the fuck is going on?
Sometimes it's enough to know there's a base,
exactly.
But then you travel anyway.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the base. I really like it there. I have like a forest, 2 minutes walking. It's so calm. I lived in Bangkok for 6 months, and it's a 10 million massive city.
Yeah.
And I noticed it's just making me anxious, man. Like you can't exit. I mean, you can't go out because it's hot a lot of the time. When you're out, it's loud everywhere. Constant construction, traffic. People, I don't know. I like it calm right now.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, I really like the hometown. It's well connected. I have 2 airports close, like 1 hour drive away. So
chill.
yeah, it's Ljubljana and Zagreb,
Yeah.
1 hour is close, right? So,
I mean, you almost got me to visit in Bangkok. I almost did. We then ended up going to Tokyo.
It's a nice place. It's really good. We will go together sometime.
Hell yeah.
It's fun.
Let's go after this.
Yeah. Today. Why not? But for a few days, to live there, I wouldn't, I wouldn't live there again. It's not, I don't know.
You also lived in Mexico for a while, I think?
I lived in Mexico for a total of almost 2 years. I was there 3 separate winters in a row for about 6-7 months each, and then a little more. Fun place. I love it, man, the weather. And I miss Spanish language so much. Spanish is just a special language, dude.
Nice.
It's so cool. And the parties there are insane. And after being at the beaches there, I just don't feel like going to sea anywhere else, I'm in Croatia with my friends. They all go swim. I'm like, nah, man. This sucks.
Dirty. Yeah. The water is dirty.
The fucking Caribbean water and the white sand, man.
That is different.
Yeah.
How was the beaches in Bangkok, Thailand? Was there any?
So Bangkok,
wait, Bangkok is landlocked.
Yeah, but it not far away, like 1-2 hours away with a car is Pattaya and some other places that have beaches, but not really great for swimming. Islands, you've been to islands.
Yeah.
You've been to Phuket, I think.
Phuket, Koh Phi Phi,
yeah.
and Koh Samui.
Okay, so Samui as well.
I mean, all the resort tours.
Exactly.
They were
but
super
it's
nice.
beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Right? So that's really beautiful there. The nature is amazing. The culture there I like too. Is very safe, there's no crime. The food is nice. Asia is great.
How is it now where they legalized weed? Has it gone down? Do you feel like people are getting high everywhere?
No, it's not even that crazy. It's funny to see weed shop every like fucking 2 meters.
Yeah.
It's right. And of course people get high. Actually, they're now talking about going like removing that, like making it illegal again. Yeah. I mean, they're funny, man, because there's a king in Thailand, right?
So he can discuss it quickly.
He can do whatever he wants, man. The stories about that guy, it's insane, man. That guy had, I don't know, like 7 wives or something. Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
That is sick.
It's so funny, dude. So,
was that the king that when COVID hit, he just quarantined in a hotel with like 25 models?
Yeah,
or something like that. Was that him?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
That was so
He
funny.
was like in Germany all the time.
Exactly.
That's it, dude. It's so funny.
He's like, we have quarantine, but with 25 months.
You go to the cinema, and before cinema, you need to stand up, because they play the hymn and
Oh, no way. That's
national
sick.
anthem and
That is
stuff.
so
It was
cool.
so funny.
But he's like a cool guy. He's not like a dictator or something.
I don't know.
You don't know enough. Okay.
The locals would have some stuff to say, I think. But,
So why do they want to illegalize it again?
dude, first of all, I have no clue how that can be a profitable business, because there's literally in 2 blogs, there's like 7 of them.
Oh,
And I don't see them busy, like customers going in and out. And the rent can't be cheap, man. It's Bangkok, right?
I mean,
So-
my thought is they're all starting because they're like, oh, it's going to make us so much money. Then they sign a lease contract for like a year, and none of them make money. And over the next 2 years, 90% of them are just going to go bankrupt. And then the 10% that actually know their shit, they're just going to stay.
maybe.
Because it's probably subsidized. We see it in Vienna now, too, with the CBD shops everywhere, just like mushrooms out of the ground, because it's like a new thing. People think, oh, there's opportunity if I'm the first one. None of them actually have experience or expertise or little. And then 90% would just go bust. And then the 10 top percent, they'll be fine.
So this is something that, all these things are interesting questions to me, and I would definitely get involved in businesses like that. Maybe not as the prime investor, but, consultant or something. But I don't know, man. I'm thinking maybe some of that can be some like money laundering shit or something.
Yeah, that's also.
I don't know, because it still takes investment, man, to refurbish a place and stuff. And then if there's like no customers, like how are you going to be profitable? Like, like where did you get the money? Like, even if it's like, I don't know, like let's say $5,000 a month expenses for the place and something and some salaries, but you get 5 customers a day that spend, I don't know, like $100 each. That's like, I don't know, like, I don't know how you make.
I don't even think $100 each. I mean, it's probably super cheap there then, probably.
Weed is, I think, is like $15 a gram or 20 maybe.
But that still sounds expensive for a local person. That's more like for tourists.
Yeah, exactly. It's just tourists. Or locals, they don't buy there.
Where do they get the weed from? Do they grow it in Thailand?
They grow it in Thailand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
And now they want to illegalize it again because they think...
I know there are talks of it, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But I know they're like talking about it.
I mean, here's the thing. You lived in Mexico. You lived in Thailand. You lived in Ljubljana. Most people that I know from Europe, they always come back to Europe because they're just like, I lived in LA. I lived there. I lived over here. I see Europe is just the best. Because it's very safe. Most places in Europe,
Yep.
you got the culture. I appreciate the culture more the older I get, like the buildings when you're in Vienna and your old town Prague, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also you got the infrastructure, man. Europe has the best infrastructure. There's nothing else. Like, you can get stuff. Things work on time relatively, especially if you're in Germany, Scandinavia.
Distances are short.
Yeah, distances are short, and it's just like that's just the best. What I do want to do is live in Hawaii for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
I call it living. My girlfriend is like, it's not living if it's just a couple months. But I want to do that island thing. I love Hawaii so much. Have we been to Hawaii together?
No, we should.
We never made it,
I've never been to Hawaii.
bro. It's
I've
unreal.
heard.
I went there like 5-6 times or something like that.
That
With me.
connection is from the U.S. or what?
Best what?
To fly there?
I always flew from LA, but I can imagine, and this is kind of what I'm thinking of, flying from Japan next time.
Okay.
Just fly to Japan, hang out there. For example, because Hawaii is always summer, it's like eternal summer or eternal spring, whatever.
Calm down, man. I know a really good Magic the Gathering player that lives there, and I want to go.
I'm super down to nerd out, and I've never started Magic the Gathering, but it's one of those things that I could get super sucked in.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine you go to north of Japan and just go skiing there because they got the sick snow. And a client of mine is from the north. He's from I forgot the exact place that he's from, but he goes skiing. Those resorts, super crazy, super.
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm down, man.
And then just fly from there to Hawaii. Even if you're there in February, you can go swimming. It's
that's it. Because just the winter period in Europe sucks.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Not for me. I like it. I love that.
I mean, it's nice to go ski, but the whole dark, depressive.
I don't mind.
Well,
love it. It's nice and cozy.
Cheerio.
Nice and cozy inside. Play video games. Last winter was awesome, and I spent November, December in Helsinki. which was already snowing. I just played Hogwarts Legacy all day, and it was snowing outside. We had like super epic Christmas mood.
Wow.
Loved it. I love that shit. I love Christmas. My all-time favorite thing.
Did you know what we've been doing with the family last 2 Christmases, or is it 3? And it's perfect. Is like rent some like super big house somewhere where like higher, like in the mountains with snow. And then, but kind of like even extended family, like 15 people almost, you know, like so nice. You know, me, my brother, girlfriend, sister, her family, the kids, dad, ma, like, you know, like, and it's such a nice, warm feeling. You're just all there fucking having cooking some food.
Cooking together. Yeah.
Play the fucking cards, the unicorn.
Yeah, the unicorn card. Yeah. That is so cool.
It's really nice, man. It's beautiful. Dude, recently I listened to that, like the Tim Ferriss thing, you know, with I forgot with whom he spoke. But he mentioned this thing, you know, that he pre-programs like, let's say a few times a year, a week with some like really close friend group or family. And I think that's really cool, you know, that you have this once a year we meet with this bunch of people. It's pre-planned. Yeah. We all book it, you know. Yeah. It's so nice, man.
We have that for Christmas too. Right? It's like, I've never skipped Christmas. What I've done is I've spent the last 2 Christmases with my girlfriend on the 24th, but then we flew on the 25th right away to my parents, and then we celebrated there again. And it's exactly like you said, because now everybody brings their life partner. Like my girlfriend was together for 7 years. My sister's is going to get a baby. Baby's going to come in 3 weeks.
Uncle.
Exactly. So now there's going to be little kids joining, and my sister got a dog, and like every year it's going to be more kids now, you know. And my mom loves that. Like my mom is the archetypical mother. She loves little kids. She's like, oh my God, his little boy, look at his little hat, so cute. Like she loves that, and then it's very lively for Christmas at home. Yeah, because they're all like me. So it's like, imagine 10 Max Tornows. They're all talking. They all love talking. They're all loud. And usually, funny enough, there when I'm with my family, I'm the quietest. Yeah, because I can't handle it. I'm like, damn, they're all like me. That's so loud. Everybody talks.
I think it's so also. I mean, this is, you know, like maybe deeper stuff or something. But you're different there, right? You feel secure. You know, it's completely different. I had this experience like a few weeks ago. Like my uncle and aunt, they had 50. They're twins, right? So they were 50. Sick. So we celebrated 100, right?
Nice.
But I don't know how we were out at some restaurant. They had a garden, and I was just like sleeping there in the afternoon, you know, on the fucking mat. I think for 2 hours, people around me, kids running, people yelling, right? And I'm just sleeping there, the most peaceful sleep ever. And I talked to my therapist, and I'm like, how? Like, I wasn't super tired. I didn't party the night before. But I just remember how comfortable it was. And she was like, yeah, probably something with security and right. Crazy, man. Crazy.
I thought about that recently as well. And my family, not just my mom, dad, and siblings, but also my extended family, uncles, grandmother, grandfather, we're very loving family. There's very little drama. We don't have this like, Uncle so-and-so is a brute and he, you know, smacks his wife or something. We don't have that. We all are like, there's very little trauma in our entire family, which is very nice. So one thought that I had the other day is, you know, when I started working for free as an unpaid assistant for Owen Cook, I didn't get paid. There was just pure risk for me. It was all this money, and then that I had to spend to do it, and then what if it wouldn't work out? But the reason why I could do it is because I knew, like, if it doesn't work out, I come back, my family's there to support me. Like, I could crash in my mom's place, my little room that I used to have there. Like, if push comes to shove, I'd never be on the street.
Of course.
Like, even if my parents would die in a car accident, I would have a loving uncle. I have so many uncles, so many aunts, my grandma, and the older I got and the more people I met, the more I realized that's not normal. Like a lot of people like, oh, we don't talk to grandma, or grandpa hates everyone, and this person did something bad to that. You're fucked. Like if you fuck it up, you don't have any safety net to fall back on.
And that's horrible, man.
Yeah.
My ex, I dated a Thai girl, amazing girl, right? But it was kind of like that, right? She was like, she, got herself to have like a nice job and everything, a flat. But yeah, if she fucked it up, no security, right? Actually, she needed to support her brother and her parents, like.
Why? How come?
Well, because nobody fucking has money, it's fucked up, like her mom was working some like agricultural job and she had some, it's, what, this is one thing I do like about traveling, because I actually when I lived in Mexico, I was dating a Mexican girl for 2 years, right? And also, man, there was issues in her family too. She's a lovely girl and everything, but in Europe, or when you come from a quote-unquote functional family, and honestly, even most functional families have issues, but let's talk about it later. But this is such a blessing, man. Like,
yeah,
many people, many cultures, like, you don't get that. You don't have, like, we are fucking privileged, man. It's insane. Just being a fucking white guy, dude.
But it's not, I know plenty of people in Austria that have dysfunctional families. I don't even think it's because it's tied to a region. It's just tied to fucking luck, I guess.
Yeah.
Like have mother and father that are not fucked up. And the cool thing is, like, my parents are divorced, but they're good friends. They talk to each other. They love each other amicably in a friendly way. That's really, really powerful. And my girlfriend has the same. I'm so happy that I don't have to deal with my girlfriend's family that is like shitty. Her girlfriend's family is great. She's an only child, mom and dad. They were never married, but they still got her, and now they're separated, and they're super friendly with each other. Her dad brings his girlfriend to Christmas, and her mom is there too, and they're all cool with each other. And I'm like, it is really funny because I've had many girlfriends in the past, and I've never felt this relaxed around my girlfriend's family, especially not that quickly, because I'm like, these people are cool. They're not fake friendly. They're Finns, that's the best part about them. They're Finns, so they don't see each other for a month. They're like, hello. There's no hug, no hey. My family's like that. It's always loud and crazy when I come home. I fucking hate it. That part I hate. It's like, the dog is barking and running around me, and I'm like, yo, just chill.
That's nice.
Then with my girlfriend's families, we're like, hello.
Handshake.
It's not even handshake. There's no handshake. It's this nod, this like, hello. And you're like, hello. Anyways, and then you just start talking about something. Or sometimes you don't talk about anything. You just sit. You just sit. It's really cool. I'm like, I feel so welcome here. It's so cool. Yeah, it's a blessing, man. Family matters, man. I think the older you get, you start to recognize it more, because when you're young, you're like, hustle and fuck it, I don't need anybody. It's a rite of passage, a literal rite of passage. How they, many cultures send the young boy out into the wilderness as a rite of passage, physically away from the family.
Except he's 14 in those cultures.
Yeah.
Not like 30.
Yeah. But for us, it's also like you got to kind of remove yourself from the family, detach yourself to go out there into the world, learn, find the conqueror within you that is not reliant on anybody, only to then return victoriously, self-reliantly, self-esteemedly. What I'm making up adjectives now, and then come back and like, hey guys, I'm good without you, but because I'm good without you, I love you, and I want to spend more time with you, and I appreciate that. And hey, let me support you, because also parents not going to get any younger. We've mentioned Mario Tomic before. He was on the podcast, and he said he's talking to his dad every day. It's part of his daily routine. He does his steps. He calls his dad.
Nice.
What's up, Dad? And he helps him with the fitness, and his dad is getting back in shape and stuff like that. Like, you cannot do that. You cannot return triumphantly to your parents and be there for them if you haven't figured out how to support yourself in the first place. So you gotta first step is detach from. So the first step is detach from family, specifically from parents. Second step, find yourself. Third point, master yourself. Fourth point, return and use all the skills and experience that you've acquired to be there for your parents. Not that they need you, but in case they need you, you can be the person to take care of them because they took care of you for so long. That's at least my opinion.
I think that's one path. and I walk the same one, so I can relate. But I believe there's others. I believe it's totally possible to go on your own while still being very much in touch and supported by your parents. Maybe get advice from them as you do your business, right? I think that could work. I think there's many ways it can work. I don't know, but yeah, it just really matters, spending time with your loved ones, and maybe on that thing that you said that you're quieter there, right? I noticed this thing when we were traveling together, and I was a little bit involved in the whole dating and stuff as well, and I learned about myself that I can turn on that switch. I can become loud, I can be like bossy, commanding, get attention, right? But I really learned that it was not that much me. It was like a persona I can put out if I want to, if I need to. Like when I would do public speaking, I can do that. But I'm not very comfortable in it, when I'm alone, or my preference is not that. It's just like quiet, doing some like immersed in some task, or maybe with like one or two close people, just, being closer together. Just that is more my, natural habitat or whatever. But yeah, interesting stuff.
For me, I like both. That's the funny thing. Like, I get excited when I'm just by myself for weeks. I'm like, God, just me. I love my own company. It's really funny. And then also, like, when I do public speaking, I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was missing that. Oh my God, let's go. Let's go. Like, just last week I did a little bit of speaking at my buddy Matteo Diem's event. It was just a private event for his paid clients. It was like 70 people or something like that. And the whole day, I think I was like going to speak towards the end, like after 4 or 5 hours. The whole day I felt like I got to explode. Like, I can't wait to get out there and explode. I was like this pre-explode tension. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Max Tornow. And I was like, let's fucking go. And I was just like so in my element, even though I haven't done in-person public speaking in many years. But actually, I've done it a year ago.
You've done it so much, right? So
yeah.
That's a big part of,
Yeah, it's a switch I could still turn on like that. I think people said it was really good.
It was, bro.
No, yeah. But at the end, I'm also like, I could do so much better. Like, there's so many more things I know, like, that was slacking, and then that was kind of boring, that one part.
Of course, you always get better.
Yeah. No, that public speaking thing was such a it's such a bizarre thing again. I always say life is so bizarre in such a weird way. I'm like, I was 20-something years old. Every single week, I would do public speaking twice. Once a free tour, and then the hot seat, the paid one. And then also, I mean, arguably, public speaking to camera as well is very similar. And that acquired me with such a unique set of skills that many 20-year-olds don't get. And I still draw from that, this whole public speaking, commanding attention.
Yeah.
Being able to snap people out when they get bored. Hey, pay attention now. Let's go. This is really important. Just it's almost like you're reeling a fish in. You got to tense the fish up. You got to draw him out, but then you got to give him some line again, and then you get back in. It's this playing. You're riding a wave of you want to give people pause, space to think about what you just said. Then you want to get them back in, like, now pay attention to this. Write this down, and bam, bam, bam. Do you get this? Feedback? Understand that? Got it. What about this? Now I'm going to make you sad. Now you're really, really sad. And guess what? That's not the saddest thing. Because when you do this, this happens, and this, and this. So now I'm breaking you down. But guess what? Here's a solution, but only if you do the thing. And if you do the thing, you will actually realize that your life can be so much better, and that you got this, and that not only did you have it right now, but you've always had it within you. So I just broke you down, and I pulled you back up. And it's this sending people on these emotional journeys is very exciting. And
for you?
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. You see it in people's faces and how they react. You even see it in comments when people comment like, oh, wow, I really reached someone with this. And you can make people do what they should be doing in their life, even though they're scared, even though they feel like they're not good enough, even though if they're not fucking ready, because who the fuck is ready after all anyways? You got to just do shit. And that's a very beautiful feeling. And on top of that, I get to make money. And with that money, I can do awesome shit.
The word, was it the Persuasion was the
Persuasion?
from that guy. The book.
Which book?
Shit, there was this book from, I don't know, I think you even told me once. Whatever, but no, you are very good at that, and it's just that now the content change a little bit from what you used to speak about, but the core skill of, being like influencing people, right? Like you have that, right? So it's just up to you to decide what kind of things you want to influence people about, right? The content, but the skill is there, right? And I think it shows.
It's funny because it circled. I feel like I'm circling back so much now that I'm back at creating organic content after a 2-year hiatus where we just figured out cold traffic that I mentioned before. I'm like, it's circling back now more than ever to the same principles I used to talk about. And it's funny because with my first business, the dating advice business, it was in the very essence, the way it boiled down was all about empowering the individual. I want
to
take action.
Yeah.
I wanted to empower young men that felt scared and felt intimidated, that felt like everyone's out of their league, nobody's there to love them.
Same in business, right?
Exactly.
Same.
I'm
You're
just
in the
like
fucking matrix. Like,
exactly.
How can I do that? But yeah, you can.
It boils back to the same for you. Like, hey, and now I'm empowering men and women to build a business, even though they don't feel good enough, even though they're overwhelmed, even though they feel competition is everywhere. I'm like, it's in essence the fucking same. It's funny.
It's the same.
It's like 97% of the DNA is the same. It's like we share 90% of the DNAs with gorillas. You know what I mean? It looks very different on the outside. It's 99 or 98, whatever. And I'm like, this is so cool. What I also realize is like, it's still so little about the content. It's so much about just empowering people and giving them permission to fail. If you're listening to this podcast and you've been in a situation like that, you waited for a sign, this is the sign. Boštjan and I talking about you got permission to fail.
He's the sign.
That's the sign. The sign, my friend. Let's go.
Just go, bruh.
And I mean, dude, one thing that I wanted to ask you, because I know you and I have had this conversation on the road many, many times. We often talk about when someone is really motivated, when they got that spark of change within them. You know what's coming.
I know.
You can ignite that. They can get mentors. They can be inspired. They can watch a YouTube video, and then that spark gets ignited. And what we've always got stuck at is, what if someone doesn't have the spark? What if someone doesn't have the willingness to change? Can you give that person the willingness to change? Can you force someone to take the lessons that they need to? And we never came to a conclusion when we discussed it. And I wanted to ask you, do you have any
updates?
What has changed? Do you have any updates on that?
Dude, I think this last book that you saw me read,
Homo Deus?
Yeah, it has some answers, but I don't think I have like a definitive answer. I'm thinking yes and no. I think it can be influenced, but not given the spark. So, oh man.
Let's go.
I don't know, bro.
Here's let me put it in a little bit more.
Dude, we can go into the reality banding shit too, man. That's fun.
Yeah, well, let's hear that. But before we get into that, so I'm 33 now. I think a lot about kids.
Yeah,
and I think I'll get in the next 2 or 3 years. I'll get a couple kids.
Good.
I'll get some of those.
Good.
Get myself some kids.
You should.
And what I often think about now, because I'm a highly driven individual, and I probably will be.
Don't give them money.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm kind of scared. Like, what if my kid is just one of these kids that just doesn't want to do anything? Like, I'm bored. I'm not interested. I hope that my kids are as easily excited about everything like I always am. Like, give me anything and it excites me. I'm like a dog. But I'm like, what can I do, or should I even do anything to my son or my daughter to make them excited about something so they can pursue something, whether that's business or tennis or esports, Gran Turismo, or painting or singing or an instrument.
I think that's not your responsibility.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I hope they're going to be excited about something, because life is really beautiful when you're excited about something, whether it's Magic the Gathering, that is arguably less productive than being excited about business. But I want them to be excited about something, because like a hobby or passion really does a lot for your life.
I think acceptance is an important concept. How can I accept somebody? And that's even harder with people that are close to you. That's not how I am. That has different values than what I do. One thing that actually recently really changed is at least for me, is how I see relationships and dating and women. I'm very different, to how I used to be, right? And yeah, it's because so anyway, when you talk about kids, right, and the values, it's like, okay, what if my kids don't have the same values? I think that's okay. Like maybe they are just like a different person, and it's not my responsibility to try to change them, because that's what a lot of parents try to do. And how does that work, right? Oh yeah, I like soccer, so you should play soccer, my little kid. Like, okay, no, expose them to soccer, and then it's up to them if they want to or not, right? So I don't know. I think acceptance is a virtue. Acceptance and patience, and just yeah.
That's a good one. Patience, man. Patience is very key. I'm so excited about getting kids because as a parent, you get to be the one that shows them the coolest part about the world. Like
See new things.
Like how sick is it?
For the first time. Yeah.
Like you sit down, your kid, they're whatever, 3 years old, and you're like, hey, buddy, I'm going to show you something. It's called heavy metal. And the way that does is just listen to this. Yeah. Because it's
starts crying.
It's not an adult that you show something. Oh, I've heard this before. Like, look, you've never heard this before. This thing's called heavy metal. Now check this out. This is snowboarding. And now you go snowboarding. And like, oh, by the way, this is banana cake. Like all my favorite things I can show to someone and see their reaction. Like, oh, this is a movie called The Terminator. It's really cool. Oh, this is Jurassic Park.
I think it's genetics too, man. I think
probably
it's innate, because look, now you're at the place where you're completely stable, right? Financially fine. You're in a loving relationship, right? And that's when these things start to come. Okay, yeah, I could do that, right? Of course, if you don't have money or if you don't have a nice relationship, you're not thinking about having kids, right? Why would you, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Plus, you've been through some stuff, right? You're certain age now, so I think that's also like the natural order of things. It's like, right? It's just that maybe 20, 50 years ago, people who were younger were already more established in a way, but today is just different, right?
Yeah.
It's like 25-year-old, like fucking earlier, like our grandparents were much different, right?
My grandparents had 4 kids at 25 or something.
They built 2 houses.
Yeah. That's so funny.
You don't know how to build a house. I don't know how.
They walked to school without shoes, through the snow. Yeah.
But what they actually did is they stuck their feet in cow shit to keep them warm.
Oh, no shit. I mean, yes, shit.
Yeah, exactly. That warm shit. And so no, dude, you're gonna be a great dad, man.
I hope so.
100%.
I would certainly be excited about it. I love kids very much.
It was so funny when Mario was about to become dad, because I saw how he's like looking for more advice, which books he can read.
Oh, yeah?
Just to get prepared, He's always the most prepared motherfucker.
I asked him about that. He's like, yeah, I read 10 books. It's good.
Yeah, of course.
But then he's like, it's actually pretty chill. It's simpler than I thought. It's like, you just feed it and you make sure it's safe. That's what he said. He said it on the podcast. It was so funny. Because I was like, how did you prepare, Mario? Tell me. He's like, it's pretty straightforward, man.
Just like send some logical dudes,
Yeah, literally. Dude, I'll buy a mentoring program when I have a kid. I'll buy like a high-ticket kid fatherhood mentoring.
Up all the upsells. Let's go.
Yeah. Like the one-on-one mentoring.
So
I'm excited about that, man. What was I going to ask you? About our touring, what was your favorite moment on World Tour?
Bro, if you got so many, man. I enjoyed the nightlife a lot, man. We were all there, dude, running like hooligans, like talking to women, cameras, lights. I was like, this is a movie. I'm in a movie.
I mean, you joined at the tail end. You were excited about it. Like, I had done this. I was like, I just want to stay home and play Command and Conquer, man.
After we finished at 3 a.m., I went on, man. Till 5, dude.
You were like me years before that.
So good.
I remember,
Yeah, just all these like crazy stories that happen, and with Vinny and like all this like stuff, So
man, remember Zurich? How we went to the bakery at 6 a.m. in the morning or something.
With, like, bagels and stuff.
Yeah, it was so good. And the one guy who had to go to uni, and we laughed at him.
It was no, and yeah, traveling the world and how all this like stuff was just so normal and easy. Like today when I travel, it feels so much harder, man.
You're just tired. You arrive at the airport and I'm tired.
And back then, just
Dude, all the time. With all the gear, we had so much video gear with us all the time. It's just physically schlepping it around, and no lounge access. We always had to, dude. Sometimes there was no
shitty iron chairs.
Yeah. Sometimes there was no free seats in the whole airport. You had to, like, in some cafe, kids screaming. That wasn't all the technology wasn't there. No noise canceling headphones back in the days. At least I didn't have any. At shitty €12 Sony, Sony headphones,
Shit.
And now I'm breezing through the fast track thing with my noise canceling headphones, sunglasses. I go into the lounge and I chill. But back then it was just me, especially the U.S. airports. They were all so shitty, man.
It was brutal, man. That was
brutal. That's the word, man.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, what was your best experiences? Do you have any?
So no, if I would have to pick, I would be at that. Probably like after a night, there was like, I don't even know which city was that, but after a night, I think you probably already went home and I'm still like in the club. This is great. I'm in some fucking city, you know. Miami was amazing. I really loved Miami.
I love Miami too, yeah.
First time out of Europe and everything, you know. It was like, dude, I'm in Miami. I remember because I got into YouTube because I got inspired by you, right? So for a year I did YouTube and I came to like 1,000 subs. It was not bad, yeah. And I just recently watched some like old videos, and I saw some like short clip like crazy Slovenian doing breakdance on Miami Beach picking up girls. I was like, full on clickbait.
Yeah. Like all the buzzwords together.
What was that? So funny. So that was fun. So many cool moments there, man, you know, but yeah.
And you got to 1,000 subs, man. That's back then especially already pretty good.
I posted tweets every week, you know. I hustled a lot back in the day, you know.
Remember you got the tattoo in Bulgaria? Was Sofia? Because our Airbnb happened to be next to a tattoo shop.
That's where you had 0 tattoos still.
That's right. I had 0.
Tattoo lasts.
I had none. That was crazy, man. That was freaking crazy. On the boat we rented to shoot the natural promo video.
Oh yeah,
in Austria with Dimmy. That was fucking funny, man.
No, there was so many memories. It's, you know, and we just keep recounting them, you know. yeah. The New York. I mean,
very crazy.
I'm sure we're gonna meet in like 20 years, and we're gonna be like, "Do you remember New York, bro?"
Oh, hell yeah! In 20 years, we can probably Neuralink our brains to relive the memories. You and I sit in a chair together.
It's exciting
because you will have bought a Neuralink flotation tank thingy where, you know, you sit down and you plugs it in.
Float.
Yeah, you float. Exactly. You plug it in and then you're like, yo, what do you want to... And you can just scroll through the dates like you would scroll on iPhone. Like, oh, let me relive December 21st, 2014. And you're in there.
Dude, this book, man, Homo Deus, man, dude, they literally say that, right? Because it's like...
Oh, no shit.
Dude, we're gonna upgrade humanity. We're already doing it, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? Like, what if you actually become immortal? Like, the science is going fast. Maybe not in 100 or 200 years, but they're gonna figure this shit out, right?
Yeah.
Because you die because of mechanic failure, your heart or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna fucking fix that. But imagine then you are immortal. Like, what the fuck, man?
I'm Immortal Joe from Furiosa.
It becomes
Immortal Joe.
Easy.
Mediocre.
Yeah, fucking, you know.
Dude, I'm hyped to be immortal, man. It's infinite Formula 1 seasons. I just hope they make Metallica and stuff like that also immortal, you know? It's like, I seen Metallica 800 years ago. They only had 20 albums. You know, like...
I love Metallica, but dude, techno concerts, techno raves, dude.
Yeah, your favorite DJs will still be alive. Man. They'll revive the Beatles. Imagine that shit. Oh yeah, the Beatles are back. Yeah, we found the DNA and we just remade them with all their memories. Imagine that.
The Beatles.
But okay, the Beatles are already really good, right? They were really good when they stopped and they had played for like 30 years. Imagine the Beatles getting better for 300 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's actually a good point, because we're imagining, the Beatles will be cool, but we don't think about how much better they will become.
Here's the thing. That's precisely the question he asks in the book, right? Because look, it's a fact that, like, we all know we're mortal. We're going to die, right?
Yeah.
So what do the artists do? They are trying to reach for immortality by creating masterworks of art.
But that's one of the drives.
If you already have the immortality, right?
You still want.
Are you still going to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
Like,
just because you're bored? And at which point do you get too bored and you just want to end it all? Man, there's mind fucks there.
I don't think I don't do anything because I think I'm going to die. I'm like, I want to do this now. This feels good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That dopamine.
I think so, yeah. I mean, you have a point. It's probably one of the drives.
Weird.
I want to paint the 16, whatever it's called, chapel. 16 Capella. What is that in English? 16th chapel?
Sorry, I just fucking with you.
That's just the
16th chapel.
16, not the 16th. Yeah, the 16th chapel. Yeah, that guy probably. Who was it? Michelangelo or?
I guess, yeah. And some others probably as well. They help.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I
was there.
I was going to say, yeah. Did you check that out?
Yeah, bro. It's insane. You just, like, your neck hurts. Like, you just watch up. Your neck is like, this is great.
I saw the Last Supper in Milan last year.
Okay, that's in the museum or something?
Yeah, I didn't. So I was in Milan many times. And then I had a client, one of our oldest clients, 74. And he's like, you're in Milan? That's cool. Go check out the thing. Oh, it's here? Okay.
I'm not a fan of Milan. Why do everybody like
Dude, I love
so
Milan.
Much? Why, dude?
Great food, great culture.
That's the whole Italy, man.
Yeah, but if you go to the south, it becomes really ghetto. Like Naples. I was in Naples last year because we went to Amalfi Coast in Pompeii. That was the only time hotel staff told me, don't wear the Rolex outside. Like, please put it in the safe, sir, please. And I'm like, what? Whatever. Like, I wore this in Cairo and Red Jill members. They're like, no, please don't do this.
Cairo is a bit ghetto too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Naples. So the South is kind of.
Yeah. I mean,
beautiful.
I mean, places in France too, right? Apparently, but yeah, we'll see.
Man, what's the next? Before we wrap things up? What's your plan?
Before we wrap things up, I'm gonna have some water and toilets.
Yeah, okay, not that.
In life.
I mean, you go to Bulgaria tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to solve some bank stuff. Then I'm back in Slovenia. Then in a week, I have New York with some partners. The summer is just really gonna be have fun, travel a little bit, not too much. Relax, play a lot of computer games.
Hell yeah.
Work out a fuck ton. Dude, I don't know why or how, but it almost feels like I'm not taking any supplements, but I feel so strong these last few weeks. I just go to gym 5-6 times a week. I want more. I'm
Beautiful.
But I don't know where it's coming from. And it's so sick. Like literally today, but there's no time because flies, but I really want to go. And I just had 1 day rest after like 3 or 4 consecutive days. And I'm like, it feels great, man. I miss that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably bouncing back from like you rested a lot in your body.
Probably, and I work a lot less, so maybe it's related. But so no, chill summer, and then I don't know, like Q4, probably just be in Slovenia, see what happens. I am looking for a Slovenian girlfriend right now.
There we go. How can people find you? Boštjan Belingar on Instagram?
yeah, Boštjan Belingar. So
in general, honestly, if people want to reach out to you,
of course,
Instagram or
hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, both work. There's our website hustlermarketing.com and floatcenterljubljana.si. So yeah, reach out if you have some questions. And dude, it's a pleasure, being here, not just on the podcast, but here in fucking Vienna on Metallica concert with you. It
was epic.
Watching you enjoy and like know all the lyrics and stuff. It's
getting mosh pits in.
It's a really nice friendship. So thank you.
I really, really appreciate the friendship as well, man. I really honestly do. And I think, I'll be a lot in Central Europe in June, July, August as well. Also with Primož, our other Slovenian friend.
Yes.
So I actually think we might even meet each other again already in summer.
For sure.
Other, even if not, then winter, Christmas time, whatever. We're always making it happen.
Skiing or something together,
Yeah.
boarding. Yeah. We'll figure it out, bro.
And that's always, I mean, we've discussed it yesterday, but that's so valuable.
For sure, man.
Just going out of your way to meet your homie. So, to a long lasting friendship, to a lot of success. Thank you for being on the podcast, man.
Yes, sir.
GG.